make a curve, they would be trapped. So as they were making the curve, they met in Gettysburg, which is here. This is the small scale of the town of Gettysburg. So this is definitely not the size, but a tiny portion of it. So the battle started when the Confederate cannons opened fire on the Union. The powder was from a different factory, because the factory that was making the powder for them before, well, their cannons took care of that one. So they had new powder. So they opened fire on the Union. The only thing was, cannonballs them all the way over here. The Union cannons, they actually hit the target. Confederate went all the way over. So after that, about like an hour or so, the Confederates started to march. As they were marching to the cannons, they had to stop for a little bit. Once they got on the field, they opened fire again. So they started marching. The Union cannons started firing on the infantry, which is the guys and all that. So they were taking casualties already. The Confederates couldn't do anything about it, because their guns were not in range. If they shot at the Union, it would fall on the ground before it hit them. So they were marching under cannon fire for a little bit, taking casualties left and right. But once they got to the fence, it just got really bloody there. As you can see, there's a little hole in the fence. Most of the Union were actually there, just firing into there, because the Confederates are all being squished into that one fence. But some of the Confederates are smarter and did not go through that hole and just instead climbed over the fence. You know, it's more bloodier, it's more smarter than being crammed into that one spot and being funneled. So anyway, as the Confederates were climbing over, the muskets got in range. So the Union muskets fired on the Confederates. So as they were climbing the fence, they were just getting massacred. After that, they got to the second fence. It wasn't as a problem because it had holes from the Union artillery firing at the Confederates. So as they were going through, they were just taking casualties even more now that the cannons and the muskets were firing on them. So even though they had like thousands and thousands of dead, they eventually got to the Union line. By then, the Confederates were just worn out, tired. Half of the 3/4 of the guys are dead, wounded, or ran off the battlefield. So anyway, they climbed the wall toward the Union. But by then, they had so little guys that, and the Union had fresh reinforcements coming in. The Confederate reinforcements were like off a couple miles away from the battle. So they had no reinforcements. The Confederates kept coming, but the Union had tons of reinforcements just lining up around here, south there in camp. So they kept coming in. So eventually the Confederates they had enough and they started to run. So they're still under fire, but they were running away. So it was basically the same thing again, except going that way. But by then, once they got here, the Union cannons stopped firing. So over here, General Pickett, right there, his division is dead. So when he goes to General Lee, the main general, he says, "You must look toward the division," says General Lee. But then General Pickett says, "I have no division." And that's the end of, Pickett strikes in Gettysburg.